What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Through My Eyes podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Nick, and ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be going over some injuries that have hit the NBA over the last couple of weeks and explaining why these injuries are going to affect these teams' success next season. So, with all that being said, let's get into these injuries. And the first injury that hit the NBA, first big injury, is Chet Holmgren with a Lindsfrack injury, which has sidelined him for the rest of the 2022-2023 season. And I shouldn't even say rest because he hasn't even played a game in the 2022-2023 regular season because the season hasn't even started. But we saw his potential in the Summer League. Obviously, we saw what he did last year at Gonzaga. He averaged 19.6 rebounds, 3 blocks in the Summer League. He looked great next to Josh Giddey. And personally, I had really high hopes for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. Both Shai Gilgeous and Lu Dort missed 30-plus games last season, and it was Josh Giddey's rookie year and also Trey Mann's rookie year. So a lot of those players were still getting acclimated into the system of the league and figuring out how basketball works in the NBA because it's completely different from college, from high school, from Europe. It's a completely different ball game, no pun intended. So with this injury that hit the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're most likely not going to win as many games that they were going to next season. And obviously that's an obvious conclusion, but what I'm getting to is Chet Holmgren was going to at least boost their win percentage up by 5. He reminds me of a 7-foot Draymond Green pretty much. He can do it all. He can shoot the 3, he can dribble the ball, he can take it to the rack, all at 7 feet tall. So he's really such an elite basketball player. And I just feel like as an NBA nation, NBA fans as a nation, we're missing out on his potential and what he can do next season. And I really do hope that he doesn't continue to suffer from this injury, that we get to see the full throttle Chet Holmgren for the rest of his career. I hope it's not another Greg Oden situation. And yeah. And to get more into depth on his injury, it's a Lindsfrack injury, like I said, which results if bones in the midfoot are broken or ligaments that support the midfoot are torn. The severity of the Lindsfrack injury can vary widely from a simple injury involving one midfoot joint to a complex injury involving many midfoot joints and broken bones. So as you guys can hear, it is unknown at this point, and everything is up in the air. But we know for sure that he will be missing the 2022-2023 regular season. And now to get into the next injury, this injury actually hit a contending team, a team that was in the NBA Finals, and that is the Boston Celtics, who this offseason acquired Danilo Gallinari. And sadly to say, he tore his ACL in the Italy Eurobasket tournament. And this is the second time Danilo Gallinari torn his ACL. Last time he did it was back in 2017, I believe. And reports are saying that the injury looks very similar to his injury back in the past. So all prayers to Danilo, all prayers to the Celtics. Now Grant Williams will most likely have to step up in the role that Danilo Gallinari is going to play on offense. We already know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball. But now we're going to have to see what he can do on the offensive side of the ball. And personally, I have high hopes in him. I have high faith in him because we saw what he can do in the NBA Finals versus Draymond Green, who is one of the most elite defensive players that the game has ever seen. So I still have faith in the Celtics, and it's funny saying that because I'm a Lakers fan. It seems like all the only two teams that I praise on this podcast are the Clippers and Celtics. And I'm a Lakers fan, so that irony is just hilarious. And to go on a little rant real quick, it's because the Lakers are trash. The Lakers have been trash the last couple of years. I was never really a LeBron James fan. I'm not a LeBron James hater, but Kobe was my guy growing up, and it was all people would always pin those two together. Who's better? And personally, I think Kobe's better. And I know I kind of sound like one of those bitter LA fans that's not happy that we have LeBron James. And no, I am happy that we have LeBron James, but I do think back sometimes and wish, damn, what if we didn't trade away Lonzo? What if we didn't trade away Jordan Clarkson, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma? And I know, again, I sound ignorant and I sound spoiled and just like a complete LA brat because we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but we only have one championship out of that, one bubble championship at that. And I'm saying that as a Laker fan. I'm saying that as a fan that was so happy when we brought home the championship. But I've looked back recently and watched the bubble as a whole, and what I took in is that the bubble was BS. And even Damian Lillard said it. It was like playing open runs. And when I look back, that was pretty much the assumption I got too. These guys were running around like it was free gym. And as a diehard NBA fan, I try to put blinders over that while the bubble was going on. But now looking back to the bubble, I can obviously tell that that was the case. And the Lakers won that championship because they had high IQ basketball players on their team, like LeBron, like Rondo, like Dwight Howard, and like Jared Dudley. So let me get back into the injury conversation because I just went on I just derailed and did a whole Laker rant. But yeah, the Boston Celtics are most likely going to still have the same success that they had last season. I don't know if they're going to make the NBA Finals, but they're going to go far in the Eastern Conference for sure. And last but not least, this injury is actually kind of close to my heart, and that's because I'm a fan of Lonzo Ball. He's one of my favorite point guards to watch in the NBA. Obviously, he was formerly a Los Angeles Laker, traded away in the Anthony Davis package to New Orleans, and then he signed with Chicago, and that's where he is now. And last season, he had so much success. We saw the full potential of Lonzo Ball and what he also could boost his game to be. He could easily be a top 10, top 15 guard in this game. We saw his elite playmaking ability, his elite defense. It was all on full display. He's also fixed his shot, shooting over 40% from three-point range. This man Lonzo Ball is an elite playmaker, like I said. So when he went down for the Chicago Bulls, it really affected their offense and defense alike. And now let's get into that injury and go back to January 14th when this injury actually occurred. So, like I said, on January 14th versus the Warriors, with 5 minutes left in the game, Lonzo was removed. His health wasn't even a topic post-game because the concerns were the scheduled MRI for LaVine that was the following day. At the time, the league, the Bulls, and Lonzo didn't know that this would be his last game of the 2021-2022 season. He was ruled out for the next game for a left knee injury soreness. And by the next week, the team announced that he would be needing a knee surgery with a recovery timeline of 6 to 8 weeks. Ball was a catalyst in the Bulls' early success, like I said. His elusiveness on the defensive end and his elite playmaking, like I previously said, was the main reason why the Bulls had so much success. They started off with a 27-13 record with Lonzo on the floor, and after he went down, before the end of the season, down the stretch, they finished with a 19-23 record. So, obviously, you guys can tell that he was a big reason for their success. And personally, I really hope that he heals up soon and we get to see Lonzo back in action next season. But as of right now, as what the media has reported, Lonzo Ball will not be starting for the Chicago Bulls at the beginning of the season. He is still going to be sidelined with an injury. So, I hope he heals up soon, and with all that being said, I hope y'all have a great day.